Joining us tonight is Jesse Binnall, who is the filer of that lawsuit in Nevada for the Trump campaign, also a member of General Michael Flynn's legal defense team. Great to have you with us, and let's start with these votes and the lawsuit. You basically want the results halted, no certification of the votes because of all of these irregularities and what looks to be fraud. It seems like it's pretty much clearly fraud if you have 500 dead people who are voting.
Yeah, Lou, that's absolutely right. We have identified thousands of instances of fraud and other irregularities that make it very clear that the result that we got out of Nevada, that the media has been so quick to report, are simply inaccurate. Inaccurate to the point that we now believe that Donald Trump won Nevada once you take out the fraud and irregularities. And these are instances of, like you pointed out, dead people voting in multiple jurisdictions. We have specific instances of fraud that we've identified from whistleblowers and had very brave whistleblowers that have come forward, people that have worked for Clark County, Nevada, where Las Vegas is, to really show that this race cannot properly be called for anyone other than Donald Trump. And one of the really amazing things is the Clark County Commission the other day threw out one of the races, and based on admitted instances of irregularities. And if this election wasn't good enough to show that you had an election of a county commissioner, it certainly wasn't good enough to show an election for President of the United States.
What were the irregularities in the instance of the local race? And I understand that amounted to just about a fifth of the total votes as compared to the presidential. Give us a sense of what those irregularities were and how they pertain to the presidential.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a lot of the same instances that we have pointed out, such as people voting twice, such as signatures not properly being authenticated, the big problems with their authentication process. A lot of instances like that, ones that they've identified are over 900, but in reality, the total number of irregularities are far, far more than right now the county officials are willing to admit.
And what remedy is available to you? What can you do to move this forward?
Well, we think the most appropriate thing, because we know that President Trump supporters are out there and have voted so strongly for him, the appropriate thing to do is to have a court here in Nevada recognize that President Trump's electors are the ones that will represent Nevada in the Electoral College. And the court certainly should not sit the electors that have pledged to support Joe Biden.
So straightforwardly reversing the outcome, given the count of the votes that are so irregular, invalid, including 500 dead people's votes.
Absolutely. It's the court, of course, can come up with a remedy that it thinks is appropriate, but that's the remedy that we think is most appropriate in this case, to recognize the truth that Donald Trump won Nevada.
Jesse Binnall, thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we will be following the lawsuits and all of the developments in Clark County and indeed the entire state of Nevada. Thank you so much for being with us.